in the matter of A-Plus Limousine Services versus Rory. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated, folks.
What is your name, sir?
Genaro Araujo.
Slower.
Genaro Araujo.
Spell it.
Araujo.
Mr. Araujo.
There you go.
Close enough. Are you the owner of A-Plus Limousine?
I'm part owner, ma'am.
How long have you been in business?
5 years.
How many limousines do you have?
3.
Do you drive as well?
Yes.
In the 5 years that you've had your business, sir, how many times have you sued clients?
This is first time.
Mr. Rory leased one of your cars for an evening. He wanted to celebrate his
Birthday.
a national holiday. What national holiday was it, Mr. Rory?
This is my 35th.
You look older. And who are you celebrating with, sir?
Friends, family.
How many friends and how many family?
About 40 or so.
And how many people did you put in this limousine?
About 20 at a time.
What do you mean 20 at a time?
They picked up from one location, dropped us off, and back picked up another group.
Were you driving that night?
Yes, I was, Your Honor.
Tell me what kind of damage you allege that they caused your vehicle.
They used this fun streamer can, and it was all over the car. Normally, it's not a problem to get off the carpets, the door paneling, and that such thing. But on vinyl, it adheres to it and it crusts up and it doesn't come off.
Well, what do you mean normally it's not a problem? I don't understand that, sir.
Off of carpeting and door panels, you just peel it right off. It comes right off like hair. But on the vinyl itself, it actually sticks to it and it crusts up and it doesn't come off. And we needed to get it detailed, and it took about 5 hours of cleaning to finally get most of it off. But it still left stains. I have some pictures to show if you...
Now, you were driving that night.
Yes, I was.
By the way, I read your answer. You don't deny that you bought this stuff and you used it in the car.
Yes.
Could you explain to me, just for my own edification, why would a 35-year-old man do that?
It's fun, and if you had silly string shot at you, it's kind of exciting, I guess. So it made it fun.
I have a couple of my sons visiting me today, and they're about your age. One of them's a couple of years older, but we won't go there. And I cannot imagine them renting a limousine with their friends and using silly string. Mr. Rory, I mean, I can imagine them going from one place to another, I can imagine them having some beers in the back of a car, but I can't imagine them using silly string, this stuff. I mean, my grandchildren use that.
We like to have fun.
If you consider that fun. So where were you shooting it?
Oh, at each other, typically.
Were you making a big mess?
There was a mess when it was over, yes.
Well, who was supposed to clean up that mess?
Well, Genaro?
Mr. Rory, no, I'm being serious with you, sir. You commissioned A1 Limousine to take you and friends from one place to another. Where did it say that they provided domestic services for you to clean up after your crap?
Well, we've rented them
Show me.
many times.
Show me.
We've never cleaned up after ourselves on any cars we've ever rented. That's where we paid $800 to rent a car. Your Honor, if I may?
Yes.
Normally, we clean up beer bottles, bottle caps, empty cans, napkins. That kind of stuff is not a problem. We never have the client clean up after themselves. That's normal.
Well, that's nice of you. Because they're drinking a beer, they leave it in the car.
Mm-hmm.
I assume that your limousine has places for drinks.
Yes.
Because that's what people do in limousines.
Yes.
They have a drink. That's why they hire a limousine sometimes, so that they can get from one place to another drunk. And they're not driving. Well, that's what people do. They want to act like idiots, so they hire somebody else to drive so that they can be safe. That's reasonable. What I don't understand, Mr. Rory, is this stuff and being a real pig and expecting somebody else to clean up after you.
Well, we've rented limos in the past. We've used it in the past. We've never had anybody charge us any cleaning fee, certainly not the amount he's trying to charge, $350 for somebody to clean it. I had asked for pictures of, the stuff that he couldn't get cleaned off several times.
Do you have those?
I actually took pictures before the cleanup.
Well, let me see what it looks like.
These are some pictures before. After that, I did inform Mr. Rory that he was more than welcome to come by before Thursday. This happened on Saturday night, and Thursday we had another service booked already. So I emailed him and told him that he was more than welcome to come by and look at it for himself before it was cleaned, but I really didn't have the time to be running back and forth taking pictures for his benefit.
Is that right, Mr. Rory?
I emailed him requesting pictures after he sent me those pictures of the stuff that didn't get cleaned up. I asked to come see the limo as well.
Do you have a bill for the detailing service?
Yes, I do, ma'am.
I'd like to see it. Who detailed for you?
It's a car wash in San Diego.
Is this a Hummer?
It's a Hummer limousine, yes, ma'am.
H2 limousine.
Yes.
Interior detailed. Foreign compound removal. $345.
On Wednesday the 9th, he said that I could come over by Thursday to come take a look at the car.
Yes.
He emailed me again on Wednesday night saying that he'd got the car cleaned, and he booked it again, so I couldn't come see it because it was already clean. So, to
You
me,
have to take his word for it that it was a mess.
well, I'm sure it was a mess, but it was something that just back and dried up. We had the stuff all over our car, inside our house. I mean, it's like paper. It doesn't stain.
Your Honor, the can does say, do not spray on vinyl as it will leave a stain on certain types of vinyl.
My question to you, sir, is you saw them using this.
No, I did not, ma'am.
You didn't.
No, there's a partition between the driver and the cab in the back. And normally what will happen is when I pick someone up and
No, don't tell me what normally. So you're telling me you didn't see this disaster until they left the cab?
until they were exiting the person that installed the new stereo, because also I'm not sure how, but silly string got inside the stereo. We believe it was either on a CD that they loaded and it damaged the stereo also, so that's part of what we're suing for also. We had to replace it. He's the gentleman, works for Big Boy Car Audio in San Diego. He's the one that installed this new stereo.
Tell me your name, sir.
David Martinez?
Mr. Martinez, are you related to the plaintiff in any
No,
way?
I am not.
Have you had business dealings with him before?
Yes, I have.
How many times have you done jobs for the plaintiff?
Just 2 times.
Okay, and the second time had to do with this audio system?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about what you found.
I pulled the deck out, which is the radio. It was
Why did you bring the car to check out the radio?
Because the radio part works on it, the AM/FM radio part, but when you try and load a CD, it spits it back out.
Okay, so it wasn't working.
It wasn't working properly, no.
Had it been working prior to Mr. Rory and company occupying the Hummer?
Yes, actually, when they got on, his girlfriend Bambi brought along some CDs, and I showed her how to use it.
Is that right, Bambi?
Yes,
And it worked fine?
it worked fine.
Is that your real name?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Oh, and at the end of the night, when I picked up the final group that was going to be leaving, Bambi and Darren were in the group, and I was holding their CDs for them so they wouldn't get lost. So she asked for them back. When I gave it to her, she went in the back and she told me there was a problem. And I thought she just didn't know how to use it, so I went back to show her again, and that's when I noticed you put it in, it spit it back out. Put it in, throw it back out, and it wouldn't play properly.
Got it. Is that right, Bambi?
That's right.
Good. So far, she's a wonderful witness for you. What did you find when you took apart the radio?
there was silly string mounted onto the laser, so it wasn't reading.
Darren, how do you think that happened?
Well, that's a mystery. I mean,
Just a second, that's a mystery. You think that I'm smart enough to unravel this mystery?
you probably are, but the CD player was working fine when we got out of the car. We went into a club. We gave him the CD so nobody would use it or
Listen to me.
anything.
Bambi said it wasn't working
It was working
No, listen
prior
to
to it.
prior.
And then we got out of the club. We get the
Right.
CDs back,
Listen to
and
me.
they don't
Listen to me,
load.
Darren.
Sure.
I want you to try to put on your thinking cap, Darren. You and Bambi got into the car and she put in the CDs and they worked just fine. At the end of the evening, this is the fact, the CD wasn't working. Right, Bambi?
When we got back into the car,
It wasn't working.
we went to put a CD back in there.
At the end of the evening,
Right.
it wasn't working.
Right.
Mr.
Martinez?
Martinez says that what he found in the CD changer was
Silly string.
silly string. Figure that out, Darren.
We didn't have silly string on our CDs.
No,
To
but
me,
maybe somebody
It's convenient
watched.
to use,
Listen to me. Everybody was drinking. Looks to me as if a lot of people were drinking. Maybe somebody thought it'd be funny to put silly string in the stereo system. Do you have something you want me to look at, Darren? You got a lot of
no, I have a lot of photographs of our mess, but
of your what?
of our mess in the car that he had sent us.
Oh,
But
well, I
he
see.
never showed me any of the silly string that was inside the stereo. So,
I have to believe Mr. Martinez. I want you, Darren, I want you to look at Mr. Martinez. Do you think Mr. Martinez is lying about what he found in the stereo?
I don't know.
Darren.
Probably.
Darren, and you were 3 sheets to the wind, and probably so was Miss Bambi. How much did you charge him for fixing the stereo?
I charged him $45 to remove the stereo and install another one because it couldn't be repaired. We had to replace the laser, and it's going to cost more than what the stereo costed.
So how much was it?
We actually tried to get the same stereo over the internet, but it's a discontinued model, so we ended up buying a different one that cost $168.95 plus the installation fee.
Well, that's all together, that's $603. That's with the detailing and his bill and the bill for the new stereo. So explain to me, sir, why you're suing for $1,158?
Because even after it was cleaned off, it did leave a stain like the can says it would. I have some pictures of that if you'd like to see them. And
I didn't think you had pictures of that, the stain.
I did.
Oh, let me see.
Actually, there's a few pictures. Some of these might be repeats, but it didn't come off completely. It left residue. And the only way to fix that is to have it upholstered again. And I have a estimate for that also.
Oh, that's a mess that he made, sir. Did you take a look?
No, he wouldn't give me those pictures.
Well, I'm going to give you the picture, sir. Here you go.
And if you actually total up the... Sorry, ma'am.
If you actually total up, it's more than what you're suing for.
Correct.
You see, Darren, look at me, Darren, you're not a bad guy. You know, sometimes I have bad guys, and sometimes I have just guys that are not bad, but just limited. You're not one of the bad guys. That you and your guests caused this damage to vinyl, that you and your guests caused another CD changer to have to be installed, that you and your guests caused the car to have to be detailed after you finished with your night of partying. I want you to accept that as a given. Whose responsibility do you think it is?
Well, I'd hate to say it's mine, but I have to.
See, I knew you weren't a bad guy. Got a nice smile. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,100.